Guess what, y'all? Guess what? I got an hour break. Well, 45 minutes. Y'all, look at my shirt. Look at my new shirt. Y'all see that? You got the Astro Einstein. Just the planets need to be coming out of it. And this was gifted to me by one of my clients. Amazing. It was a group of three sisters that came. And they came and brought me a shirt that she took the time to make. I feel so good. I was like, I'm gonna go on a live and I'm gonna tell everybody what she gonna do. You know, now I got my own Astro Einstein shirt. Thank you very much. All right. Now I'm gonna turn around and show you the name of her business. As you can see, she put my name on it and she got her name to the bottom. You don't want to take a look at her. I wanna, just because she did that, I didn't ask her to do it, and she did it, and I thank her for that. That's right. Just want to show her gratitude for doing that, because I like to show gratitude for the things that people do for me. You know, that's what I like to be. I think gratitude is how you receive more. The reason why some people, and look, I have time to get a drink. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I have my own brand. I just trademark my name, so nobody can be able to use my name. Can you explain God from your knowledge or experience? What is God? Trust. Manova, that's a really good question. I wish I could bring you on the camera. If I could bring you on the camera and ask that question, that'd be good. From my understanding, let me move that there. From my understanding, what God is. Oh, what I'm sipping? That's a mango infused lemonade. I know, right? It's beautiful. From my understanding of what God is, God is every single one of us. God is not how we thought outside of each one of us. God is not that. If that's what you, from my understanding, so let me tell you a little bit about me so you can understand me. When I was younger, I studied God, the theory of God, the thought of God. All right. I literally went to school. I went to college to learn what the hell is God. Not the hell, what the heaven is God. Sorry. Let me my orange juice from here. Y'all ain't see that. Okay. No, I'm not from Guyanese. I am from the Bahamas. I am from the Bahamas. So what I understand what God was or God is for my study, almost all of my life, about maybe 11 to maybe 15 years of my life, I studied what God was. Been to Bible school, seminary school, was a young minister, teached, preached, all of that. Been to theology school, believe it or not. And I was on my way to be a priest. Everybody in my family knows that. But I was just hard for Jesus. I was in these streets for Jesus. Won't you believe that? I used to walk around and say, excuse me, young man, have you given your soul, your life to Jesus Christ? No. You're making a very big mistake. Because Jesus is coming soon. He's coming very soon. I think about it now. I had this lady said, she said to me, she said, that's crazy because my Grammy said the same thing and she died. And I was like, Well, she's resting with Jesus. I didn't know what I was trying to say. All I know is she was not going to win that argument. All right? She was like, she's resting with Jesus. So when is he coming? And I was like, he's coming soon. Anyway, so my idea of what God is, you know what? I can't stand y'all. I love y'all, but I can't stand y'all. But she caught me with that one because I was like, hold on. Yeah, he's coming soon, baby. He's coming soon. Just take this track and read it. Go home. Contemplate on Matthew chapter 11, verse 11. And now that I think about it, Matthew chapter 11, verse 11 speaks about reincarnation. If you read it from 11, Matthew chapter 11, verse 11 to Matthew chapter 11, verse 11 to 13, it speaks about reincarnation. But anyway, that's another topic on its own. So my understanding of what God is that we are all encapsulations of God. I believe that we are all thoughts in the mind of God. I believe that we are all experiences of the mind of God. The same way how a man could sit down and think and have about 200,000 thoughts in his head simultaneously, right after the other. It's the same way how you could be each one of those thoughts. Each one of us are one of those thoughts. Just think about it like this. We are in the matrix, if you call it that, but we are literally experiences of God. If you close your eyes and you think about, you know what? Let me imagine myself hopping on a plane and going to Dubai and doing like 20, 30,000 regressions where everybody in Dubai just stop being the religion that they are and just give up on wearing all those clothes over their heads. If I imagine that, I mean, it's probably not going to happen. But that thought by itself is an individual thought. And each one of us are individual thoughts of God, believe it or not. We are all experiences of God. So each person is the essence of God. That's my idea. That's my understanding of what God is. From my experiences from doing, and y'all, I just I just finished off my 10,922nd regression. I had Tampered too, but they came and they didn't really do the work, which is they came overthinking and didn't do anyway. They said, what's semi-sync? What's meditation? I can't meditate. And that's okay. Bless their hearts. I sent them home just so that they could experience a little bit more of a relaxed mind. And I'll see them when I go to their state. But like I said before, we are all individual experiences of God. We are all individual experiences of God. God is not outside of you. Sorry, this lemonade just went down the wrong hole. In my understanding of doing so much regressions, each person is responsible for their own experience. We are all gods. It's crazy to say, but it's just how it is. And because we've been trained so long to think that God is on the outside of us, that we are unworthy, that we are nothing less than just sin and dirt and muck, and you are never worthy. We have, I should say, indoctrinated ourselves and even our children's children, to think that we are unworthy, that we are not the essence of God. So that's the answer to that. You are God, and so am I, and so are your children, and so are your children's children, and so are animals and plants and anything living. They are all essence of God. Because we are all thoughts in the mind of God. Let me go to the next question. Sorry. So I know I exhausted that question, but I wanted to answer that. How and why would consciousness split? And I'd love to come on camera and have a session. Okay, Trust, you got a lot of good questions, all right? So why does consciousness split? Consciousness is more than just this physical body. This avatar that we use, that we carry, that we use to transport your consciousness, or a fraction of your consciousness, it's just that. It's just a spacesuit. Your consciousness can be infinite, all right? It's way beyond this physical body. And this is why souls could be here in this physical body and still live another split lifetime as another human being. I've had experiences multiple times, hundreds of times. I could even close to saying close to thousands, where, but not exactly thousands, like maybe six, 700. If I really, really do the maths on it, where consciousness splits on have one lifetime here and the next lifetime someplace else. And the reason for that being is because some souls want to expand more. They want to experience the wholeness of being connected to source, being one. All right. You say, where can one begin to develop their intuitive gifts? It starts from your thought. We, in our school system, if I don't want to offend anybody or even you too, have done a lot of thinking, and overthinking. You ever realize that when you go to school, they cram you with a test, and then they put a test on top of a test, and then they tell you go home and do some homework, never giving you time to just be in your own mind, to be creative or inventive or imaginative. And with that, you started to destroy your right brain. When I say destroy your habit of going within your own mind and focusing on the things that are very inventive and creative. I think I gave this one time before. Every client that come to me, I do this. Now, before y'all, I want you to know that if you're coming to see me, find yourself quieting down your mind and practicing visualization. Everything is visualization. Everything. I'm going to say this again. Everything in front of you is manifested by sensing, feeling, believing, knowing, and then seeing. Everything. Every single thing. Let's take, for instance, this shirt. This young lady sensed that I would like this shirt, right? So she sensed that there was a need for this shirt. She's like, you know what? I feel like I sense that I should like this shirt, and that she felt as if I need that shirt. And then she put in the work. That work means she know that she was gonna make that. She know that I needed that shirt. And the only reason why this is here now is because those three processes took place first. And when it comes to our mind, that's a problem. We don't do that enough. We don't do that enough where we just sense and feel and use our intuition. Your intuition is continuously knocking at the door. But because we're so used to intellectualizing, rationalizing, criticizing, um, analyzing, and what we did is we want to dissect, question, doubt, question. And those things are really brought on us by schooling, because They give you multiple choices. They have you guessing of what question and what answer to answer. And now you got to go in your hand and be like, wait, hold on. That ain't the right answer. That ain't the right answer. Now you got to depend on your intellect. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It is what it is. However, doing that too much continuously, would only have you to be dependent on your intellect as opposed to your feelings and your senses. You want to develop intuition? Put a blindfold over your eyes. Put something over your eyes and develop a sense of smelling, touching, feeling. There are also, I would call, exercises that you can use. Take a person and blindfold yourself and have a person take 20 inanimate objects, 20 of them, and have that person put it in your hand. You don't know what they are. Put it in your hand and just feel and sense what that is. Use your own mind, your own sense of connection. So you ask the question, do I believe in retrograde? Retrograde as in planets, asteroids, planets. Planets don't necessarily go backwards, but because of the speed of the other planets, it looks as if they're going backwards. And in retrograde in the natal chart, it represents something that you need to replay, go over. It's one of the things I look at when I look at a natal chart to see if this person is reliving a karmic life. How do I access my Akashic records? You access it all the time. Consciously, all you got to do, and I teach these people this all the time, I teach all the time. You have to quiet down your mind so that you can tap into it, tap into your subconscious mind. What the next step what's the next step after past life regression? What do you do with the information you've gained? All right, Francis Roseborough. Y'all, that's the sister of the lady who created this church for me, the young lady, the beautiful young lady. Their whole family came and visited. Like they had the whole crew who came. What do you do is, if you see what your purpose is in this lifetime, continually going towards it. If you see what your challenges are, continue try to build around it and try to overcome it. If you see what you came here for, start to go towards it. And as you do, the synchronicities of life will open doors for you. It's as if you will feel a sense of completion. So let me get to this question. Hi, Astro, where are you from? I'm from the Bahamas. Uh, People say you have to close the Akashic records. Is that true? The Akashic records never close. It's like the internet. I don't know who told you that. You never have to close the Akashic records. Do you ever have to close the internet? No, of course not. The Akashic records is the internet of souls, of information, of soul's journey, and every single thing. You don't close it. I don't know who told you that. That's a fib. School is a man-made knowledge, though. It's limited account. I agree. You, we've been waiting for Jesus to come back for years. Come to Connecticut, please. Definitely. I finally made it to the live. All right. Jesus coming soon. Is that your? And also, have you run into Jesus during a regression? That's a good question. I'm gonna get to Facebook in a minute. So, I have never run into Yeshua ben Joseph. However, I've followed when I did regressions of people who were very close to Yeshua ben Joseph. I've never had him. I've never had him sitting in my chair. Never had the soul that resides as Yeshua ben Joseph in my chair. But I did have one of his apostles in my chair. Gave me full account. Yeshua ben Joseph, also known as Jesus Christ, y'all know Jesus Christ, was an Essene. He was from a sacred tribe that wore white and hold strict religious practices. But he was a renegade. He was nothing like them. He went on to study Buddhism and mysticism, and when he came back, he got a radical way of teaching and preaching, and they didn't really take well to that. His own people. The story is a little different and twisted than what they tell you in the Bible. What Hemi Sync are you listening to? Oh, let me see. So you fall asleep. That's because your mind needs to rest. Okay, so interesting concept. So are you healing a part of Jesus' will? Are you healing? Are your healings a part of Jesus' will? Like, are you still a Christian? Chanel Williams. Chanel Williams. Let me tell you something. Jesus ain't even a Christian. That may shock you. But Jesus is not even a Christian. The concept that you think is Christianity is a concept that was placed upon you by the Roman Catholic Church, based upon their need to control the masses. Okay? Under the standards of Christianity of Yeshua ben Joseph, you're not a Christian yourself. If that's following what Christ meant and what Christ is, you are not. The true Yeshua ben Joseph, some of his messages were taken and misconstrued. So his stories are in the Bible, but still misconstructed. I wouldn't say misconscribed. And he did healing as well, and every single one of y'all could do as well. There's nothing so great about what I do. Nothing that you can't do. Anybody can do what I do. And the thing is, Yeshua ben Joseph said that same thing. He said the exact same thing, that you can do the same thing. All right? Am I a Christian? Of course not. Am I Christ-like? Of course, yes. Are you Christ-like? Are you helping people? Do you find that you would sacrifice some of the things that you're used to in order to help people? That's Christ-like. Not some pastor telling you to give your life to Jesus Christ and bring your 10% offering to a church. Anyway, I'm off that religious talk because a lot of people get offended because they want to be stuck and be one of those people on the wall. Interesting concept, though. So would that mean that God is an actual entity, or is God a collective essence of all the essence? Good. You just answered the question. That's exactly what we are. We are all essence of God. And until you treat every single soul like that, you're going to always see separateness. We're going to always experience as if you're less than God. You know, that's just how it is. But you're a really smart person. I give it to you. Trust S maneuver. I feel like I've been a warrior in many lives. How do I confirm? Well, you could do it through your own regression, or you could do it through a regression, or you could do it through the Akashic records. Meditating, information comes straight to you. It's like the internet. Do you recommend a place to learn QHT? Well, they have different people. Like it is coined by Dolores Cannon and her foundation of doing it. Me personally, I have developed my own quantum healing because of the experience I've done on my own. I literally had to do it a sort of a, if she's watching, you know exactly, I'm talking about you. I literally had to do an exorcism of an entity today. All right, so if you have an outer body experience while in bed, how can you tell that it wasn't just another dream? Well, I'd like to answer that question with a. I want to answer that question with sense. Okay, so that's a good question. Um, it feels different. Dreaming, you're gonna feel as if you're still in your body. An out of body experience is totally different. You literally feel light and weightless. That's the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Facebook. Sorry, I cannot disregard my Facebook. All right, I need to bring my youngest son to you. All right, since yes, I want to learn more, become my higher self. Can you read my comment above? Okay, Lakita Green, you may have to put that again. I apologize. All right. Have you ever thought about interviewing those people you had regressions with to see how much their life has changed since? Well, so half of the people that I've regressed are in the Bahamas now, and I've seen their life. And you could either take information or not. Not all of the persons I've basically opened up their gifts when you're a baby soul. It's really hard to to do that. But a lot of people that are around me when I was inside the Bahamas, they still around me now, and they still, they changed their lives. Their lives have changed. It's a sense of fulfillment. Some people feel as if success is given in monetary gains, and we are all, God, so we could create our life and change it so that we are living comfortably financially. However, that isn't the end goal of the soul. The end goal of the soul is growth. All right. So what this is? I be the past cheetah. Okay. We will do. Well, do we have a creator? Hmm. Linda Venable, if I'm pronouncing that right. Do we have a creator? Good question. One of these days, when you build up the energy to do a session, I'll carry you to the beginning of your soul, to the moment that your soul became. And guess what's going to happen? It's going to never happen because your soul always existed. So the question is, all right, our daughter is doing a great job. Keep it a legacy. Is it possible to clear the Akashic records when someone else has tampered with it? What do you mean, clear the Akashic records? The Akashic records is like the internet. How much people be on the internet? It's the Akashic records is the Akashic records, and the Akashic records change. It's very malleable based upon you know what you do. What you do in this lifetime and the other lifetimes. It doesn't isn't fixed. The Akashic records is not fixed. It changes as you changes. The choices you make, the choices we make as a collective, it changes. Have you ever thought about interviewing those? Okay, so you didn't already answer that. All right, what's he got? All right. So what the question is? All right, create a class. Yeah, I got a class. Can lifetimes exist in parallel times? I see some people go back to 1972 and live for 90 years. Okay, so good question, Kalina Park. I think we talked about this earlier where souls are not contained in one physical body. Sometimes the soul, the, I call the collective soul, can split experiences just so it can grow. Just the same way how you go to college and instead of just being, you want to major in psychology, but you want to minor in music, and then you want to double minor in geography. It's the same way how your soul can do the same thing. All right, and they can exist in parallel times in a universe that is very much the possibilities are endless. There are endless possibilities. All right. What is it? See, that's people. Cindy Carter. That's people who try to give fear. What is it called when you are laying in bed and cannot move after being asleep? Hard to explain. Science call it sleep paralysis. On the islands, they call it being hagged. It's just where you your energy is much more. I should say your mind or your subconscious mind is awakened way before your body actually reacts. What about demons and angels? How do they affect consciousness? Now, demons and angels exist on this earthly realm because of the dimensions that we live on in this earthly realm. So we got lower dimensions on Earth. Earth is a very very strange place, but it's very very complex. And it isn't just Earth, but it has dimensions in different. It's just demons or and negative energies live in lower dimensions. All right, and higher entities live in higher dimensions. In this dualistic world, we experience both. And they don't affect, they all work for this, believe it or not, they all work for it's silly, it's sad to say, but they all work as tools of evolution of the soul. Have you ever did a famous lifetime where someone was a celebrity? Yeah, Sine. I, I, um, I just did one a few months ago. When are you coming to Miami? I'm be coming to Miami after a little bit. They're on the top 10, top 12, because it's 12, not 10, it's 12 states that we going to. Is there a reincarnation then? If there is a reincarnation then, how and when do we go to heaven? And how do we get judged by God? Peggy, channeling, and I don't want to, I like to make sure I speak to you because I don't think you understand that hell is a concept, a construct of the mind. And it's something that was basically, you would be basically told that hell existed. The Aramaic word for hell was only translated in the true Bible about, I think it's 5 times. But when the King James Version came out, you heard it 64 times, I think. All right. So they basically, um, they misconstrued the word halos as hell. All right. And it isn't. It's a misinterpretation of the word. It was something that was placed in the Bible so that you can continue with the fear, so you will submit to their rule. There's no judging by God. You judge yourself. You create karma. There's no big old white man with a stick and gray hair just looking down at you and saying, "You did bad. You go to hell. You go to hell, and you go to hell, and you go to hell." I want you to understand this. God makes no mistakes, right? If that was the case, so I want you to understand my whole awakening. So let me share how I got awakened. So I was sitting inside a class in theology, and I was asked a question. The question was, if I was born, if a Chinese man was born uh, in China about 30 AD. This is 30 years after 30 AD, and he lived and died until the age of 25. I never heard the name Jesus Christ. Never saw an evangelist. Never even knew what Christianity was. Where does he go? And I had this female Bahamian friend who stood up and said, I was a little embarrassed because she was like, Pa Zim, because his name was Father Zimmerman, but no relations to the Zimmerman that that murdered Trayvon Martin. No relation. I had to ask that, but he's passed on now. And they paused him. I believe that he goes to heaven. I mean to hell, she said. And so pause him said, and I ain't gonna call her name because I don't want nobody to get upset with me because I call her name on YouTube and on Facebook. But she said, so he said, so what you're saying is God created you in the Bahamas. And he gave her an age because he know how old most people were. To be born in this year so you could go to heaven. And for that person to automatically go to hell. So he created that human being just so they could go straight to hell. And you so lucky to be in the Bahamas to hear somebody call the name Jesus Christ so you could go to heaven. But what she said is that I believe that he goes to hell because he's not one of the 144,000. And God makes provisions for his children. And that did something to me that I didn't even know. And I've read that passage over and over and over again. And I'm like, I always try to skate over it because I'm like, that don't make no sense. We got billions of people in this world. I tell me only 144,000 people are going to go to heaven. And they said, they justify saying, and then in the background is multitudes of people. Okay, fine. So when she answered that, I went like this. Oh, Lord, she done made the Bahamas look dull. I was like, oh, snap. This ain't the best time to be a Bahamian. But anyway, so she answered that question. I was like, damn, that don't make no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. So this Chinese man, this Canadian man named Trevor stood up. Believe it or not, he's a white man with the name Trevor. Don't ask me. I don't know who his daddy is. Oh, his mama. She lied on somebody. But his name was Trevor. And he said, Hazem, I got the answer for you. And he said, I believe that man goes to heaven. And Hazem said, tell me, Trevor, why? And Trevor said, because I believe that he's like a child in the eyesight of God. Now, take in mind now, I thought this was the best answer ever. I was like, oh, snap. Go ahead, Trevor. Go ahead, Trevor. You got this. So he's like, yeah, because I believe that Chinese man is a child in the eyesight of God. And he said it so eloquently. He's like, I was like, get him, Trevor. And I looked at homegirl. I was like, you should have shut up. You shouldn't have said nothing. Go ahead, Trevor. You got this. You got this, Trevor. And Pazim said, so what you're saying is, it's better to never hear the name Jesus Christ and go to heaven than to hear it and go to hell. So what you're saying is, we're actually condemning people by introducing them to Jesus Christ, as opposed to just letting them be organic and go to heaven. Is that what you're saying, Trevor? And I said to myself, wait, Trevor, you dumb. What? Trevor, come on, man. You should have came with a better answer than that, Trevor. I turned on Trevor so fast. But either way, it really was profound for me because it made me think about it. I said, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. And he never gave the answer. But I never gave up. I said, Pa, you got to tell me the answer to this question because I need to know. My whole life depends upon this. My whole journey, because that was an awakening point for me. I was like, you got to tell me, what is the answer to that? I need to know now. I need to know. He was very dismissive. God rest his soul. He said, check me out tomorrow. I'll answer you tomorrow. And he did that for about 9 days straight. So I was there with my friends, my Bahamian people. Home gal, I was in London. She was like, yeah, y'all. I think she was a little embarrassed because she's like, man, y'all bothering Pa. Don't worry about him. And I was like, you better say your dumb. She know I was playing with her though. She know I played with her. I was playing. I was playing. I don't mean that she's dumb. I'm not saying I said that her answer was dumb, but she's not dumb. She's a very smart, intelligent female, and she's still underneath the cloth. I won't call her name, but she's still in the cloth. So anyway, uh, and Pa Zim waited until it was just me left, and he said, now that we have gotten rid of the followers, the true seekers, the true seeker is performing. And I was like, why this man talking all this philosophy? I just want I was like, why this man talking all this stuff? Like, I only want to answer this question. And he told me, he said, you want to know who God is, huh? And I said, yes, because this doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me because none of those answers were right. But yet, to me, one was biblical. Both of them are biblical, but you just dismissed all both of them. And I want to know the answer to that because I am a Scorpio sun and Mercury in Scorpio, and I ain't giving up. I didn't tell him that because they was supposed to know I'm into astrology from then. So so what he did was he took up my paper, a pen off his desk, and he said to me, he said, give me your name, your full name, date of your birth, your name from your middle name, everything, your date of birth. And this man, from my date of birth and my name, told me everything about my whole entire life. I was changed after that. I was a different person. I was like, I need to know. And he told me that you want to know where God is? Learn yourself. Learn who you are. And after you learn who you are, learn everybody else. And after you learn everybody else, learn everybody else after that. And I was like, I didn't sign up for all this. I just wanted the answer to the question. But yeah, I was very shocked of him being able to tell me about my sister, about my dad, about my family, my aunt. He basically just riddled my life off. After that, I was sold on esoteric knowledge, and he brought me into the fold, and I'm grateful for that. And from this point on, I always vowed that I'd go. So yeah, that's my journey on understanding how I got on this understanding of God. That in order to know where God is or who God is, you got to literally learn and study you, study who you are. Too long we've been trying to figure out, God on the outside. And if you're gonna study God on the outside, study the gods that are in your life. Your mom, your dad, your children, your cousins, your brother, the man that walks past the neighborhood. Shoot, even your robber. You know, one of these times when he's pulling a gun on you, just ask him, so what's your date of birth? What's your time of birth? Don't shoot me. Just give me an opportunity to read your chart. But I know y'all think I'm just joking, right? But I'm serious with this. Study and learn the people that are connected to you. And the more you do, the more you do, the more you realize that they are the essence of God. And so are you. And every single person that you come in contact with. Even the parts of them that you do not like. Even the ones you do not like or you think you don't like. They're only a reflection of what you need to change or what you need to learn. All right? That's all it is. Y'all, I have a 10 o'clock client. This is my last client for the night. And I thank you guys for actually So the question, let me answer this last question. Sorry. Damn, that's a million questions. I'm sorry. Asha, do you use Western astrology or Vedic? I use both, actually, Daphne. I use Vedic and I use tropical or Western astrology. I use Vedic when I'm using the Mahadasha system. This is the system that actually you can time every single thing. So when I got married the last time, yeah, I've been married twice. I have. All right, been married twice. When I got married the second time, it literally, when I look at the Mahadasha system, basically, it timed the time that I was born. I was going to get married, like literally. So the Mahadasha system is one of the most accurate systems in the Vedic astrology, in the Vedic system. All right, and tropical astrology is very good for psychological analysis, understanding. I use it for predictive methods as well. But I use Vedic and I use tropical and I use whole sign house system. It has been much more accurate for me than the Placidus system. So the Placidus system is what all these websites use. It's what they teach you in school when you go to astrological school. They teach you the Placidus. However, I literally had to teach myself whole sign house system, which was actually the Hellenistic astrology. The first set of astrology before Bartholomew and all them other scientific tried to change astrology into a more scientific base and more mathematical structure. It was mathematical, but they wanted to intellectualize uh, astrology. And I went back to the basics. I did Placidus system for, I think it's 14 years. And I've been on whole sign house system for now 11 years. And I would never go back to Placidus. As a matter of fact, my school teaches whole sign house system. I went from doing 87 to 86% accuracy to 98, 99% accuracy. I would never go back. That's right. 111. All right. So guys, I really wish I could get to the bottom of your questions. But as you can see, it's 10:01 and I definitely gotta get to my last client. And wish them luck and let's try to ask them. I know they're watching because they're probably downstairs. I know you're watching. I know you think that y'all want to go live. Just I know you're watching. Just these people want y'all to go live. Y'all tell them y'all want them to go live. Just say, y'all, please go live. And they probably go live. Who knows? It's a private person, so we can see. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me ramble about past lives and life between life and God itself. And the understanding of what we are as souls. We are more than just this physical body. We are more than just this lifetime. We are an essence of consciousness that resides everywhere at the same time. This is why you could be some part in the world and you can literally talk or speak or feel somebody's essence in a different part of the world. Every single atom in the air, because we have oxygen atoms, we have all these atoms that are literally connected. So everything is connected. We are all connected. We only have the idea of separateness. Thank you all. I appreciate it. I'm humbled the fact that I have even 100 people listening to what I gotta say. And I appreciate you. I appreciate every single person that actually listens to what I have to say. You have no idea how humble I am. I know I talk a lot of foolishness because I'm a clown. I like to talk foolishness, but I'm also very much serious with what I say. And I want you to understand that. I take this work very seriously. Um, this is a part of my mission and what I'm here to do. And I'm relentless when it comes to this. Relationships or anything takes a back burner to what I got to do with this. I think of myself, I say, you know what? I done spent whole 40 something years, 40 years on relationships. Now it's time for me to do what I came here to do. I take it mine now. I still love. I love. However, this is very, very important to me. You guys are very important to me. This whole awakening community of understanding that we are more than our bodies is very, very important to me. I just want you to know that. Thank you guys, and let's ask that these people come on live. Let's just hope and pray. Enjoy the rest of your night.